Hey folks, before we dive in, don't forget to follow SkyAlert USA to catch this and all our future videos. Your support really helps us out, so please consider subscribing, liking and dropping a comment below. We sure appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you are watching from across the United States and Canada, welcome back to SkyAlert USA, your #1 source for real-time severe weather coverage, emergency alerts and critical storm forecasts. I'm here with an urgent and comprehensive weather update for today, Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, and what we are watching across North America right now is nothing short of extraordinary. We have a multi-threat weather system unfolding in real time, active severe weather warnings, a dangerous Pacific storm targeting the west coast, ongoing Arctic cold in the central and eastern states, and one of the most significant atmospheric events of this winter season still playing out in the upper atmosphere above our heads. Stay with us through this entire report. Lives and safety are at stake. Let's start at the very top, literally. What is driving our weather right now is a sudden stratospheric warming event that has been unfolding over the past several weeks and has now split the 2026 polar vortex into two separate cores. This is not a normal winter event. Meteorologists at NOAA and independent forecasters around the world are calling this one of the most powerful polar vortex disruptions in recent years. Here's what that means for you on the ground. The polar vortex is like a giant spinning cap of cold air that sits over the Arctic during winter. When it's strong and intact, it keeps the coldest Arctic air locked in place. But when it weakens, as it has now, that Arctic air escapes and pours southward into Canada and the United States like a dam breaking open. The stratospheric temperatures in the mid-stratosphere, roughly 30 kilometers above the Earth's surface, have been running more than 50 degrees Celsius above normal. That extreme warming is what broke the vortex apart, and the ripple effects are now working their way down through the atmosphere toward the surface, with forecasters expecting the full surface impact to be felt through the final third of February and potentially into early March 2026. Complicating this pattern is a competing atmospheric force, the Madden-Julian Oscillation, a powerful tropical wave moving through the lower atmosphere. This wave has temporarily acted as a shield for parts of the central and eastern United States, keeping them warmer than they otherwise would be. But that shield will not last forever. Models are now showing the MJO's influence fading by late February, which will allow the stratospheric warming signal to reconnect with the surface, potentially triggering one more major cold outbreak before winter's end. Now, let's get into what is happening right now, today, on the ground across the country. Over in California and the West Coast, a powerful Pacific storm system is impacting California as we speak. The National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center has issued a slight risk. That's Level 2 out of 4. Of excessive rainfall across the central and southern California coast, valid through Tuesday morning. A deep upper-level trough is driving heavy rain and strong onshore flow into the state. The concern today is flash flooding. Rainfall rates are expected to be intense, particularly over burn scar areas from previous wildfires, urbanized regions and upslope terrain in the Transverse Ranges and Santa Lucia Range. HREF model data shows more than a 25% probability of exceeding 2 inches of rainfall in 24 hours across the Los Angeles metro and surrounding areas, with some localized spots in upslope terrain that could see 5 inches or more. If you live in or near a recent wildfire burn area in Southern California, you must take this seriously. Flash flood warnings may be issued at any time today. Meanwhile, the Sierra Nevada mountains are being hammered with heavy snowfall. A welcome sight for water managers, but a serious hazard for mountain travel. Highway closures and chain control requirements are in effect or expected across Interstate 80, US 50 and Highway 88. Do not attempt mountain travel today without checking current road conditions first. Up in the upper Midwest, the same storm system producing California's rain and snow is simultaneously creating a complex winter weather scenario. A mix of snow and freezing rain is occurring or expected today across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and surrounding states. Winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings are in effect in multiple zones. Ice accumulations, even minor ones, can create treacherous travel conditions. Black ice on roads and bridges is the #1 concern. Allow extra time if you must travel. Keep an emergency kit in your vehicle and stay updated with your local NWS office. Down in the southeast, following weeks of punishing winter weather, including the catastrophic winter storm Fern that struck from late January, parts of the southeast are finally seeing milder temperatures today. However, the polar vortex disruption means this warmth may be short-lived. Residents from the Carolinas to Tennessee should prepare for the possibility of another cold intrusion before February is over. In the northeast, conditions are relatively quieter today across New England and the mid-Atlantic, but forecasters are watching closely. Above normal temperatures are forecast for the region through midweek, but a new low-pressure system developing over eastern Colorado by week's end could bring renewed precipitation to the Ohio Valley and northeast by this coming weekend. New England could be looking at uncertainty around wintry weather as early as next Monday, February 23rd, with coastal low development possible. And up in Canada, the polar vortex disruption is particularly significant. The past weeks have seen Toronto, Ontario record its largest single-day snowfall since records began, with 46 to 61 centimetres of snow accumulation during the January storm system. The Canadian prairies continue to experience well below normal temperatures driven by Arctic air locked in over western and central Canada. Temperatures across Alberta, Saskatchewan and Manitoba remain bitterly cold, with wind chills capable of reaching -40 degrees Celsius in summer. Congestus, chert a mei kinsom, is pus and says, Kadiera de Buradal, in Indalm. Measure de Swans Ansuman. All right, folks, let's look ahead at what the next 72 hours hold for each major region. On Wednesday, February 18th, the Pacific Front will keep pushing eastward, moving from California into the Great Lakes, Mississippi Valley, and Southern Plains by Wednesday evening. Rain and snow will spread across a wide swath of the central United States. Snow will be the primary precipitation type from the upper Midwest through the northern plains, while rain will dominate from the Gulf states northward through the Mid-South. The Sierra Nevada will continue to see heavy mountain snow. Down in the south and southeast, rain will become more widespread as the system approaches. Thunderstorm activity is possible along the leading warm front, especially in the lower Mississippi Valley. Some of these storms could produce brief, strong winds and locally heavy rain. Now, moving to Thursday, February 19th, a new surface low is expected to develop over eastern Colorado. This is a classic winter storm genesis region. When an upper-level disturbance digs over the Rockies and combines with moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, the result can be rapid cyclogenesis and significant storm development. Forecasters at the WPC are watching this closely. The low will then move into the Midwest and toward the Great Lakes, spreading precipitation across the Ohio Valley into the northeast. The critical question for Thursday and beyond is the track of this low. A slight shift northward or southward could mean the difference between rain versus snow for major cities including Chicago, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, New York, and Boston. So, stay tuned to SkyAlert USA for real-time updates as model data converges. Looking at Friday, February 20th, the cold front trailing the Colorado low will push through the southeastern mid-Atlantic, bringing moderate rainfall and gusty winds to portions of the region. Behind the front, colder air will return to the northern states. By the end of the week and into the weekend, the Pacific Northwest will see a new low-pressure system approaching with renewed prospects for rain and heavy mountain snow across northern California, Oregon, and Washington. That's a second atmospheric river event in less than 2 weeks. Now, we can't close this report without looking at the bigger picture for late February, because what is coming deserves your full attention. The stratospheric warming event and polar vortex split are expected to make their definitive surface connection during the last 10 days of February. Models are now showing a clear signal for blocking high pressure to build over the polar regions and Greenland, which will force a low-pressure trough to dig across the United States. A classic omega block pattern. This pattern would bring first a significant new Arctic air mass targeting Western Canada and the Western United States, with cold anomalies running 15 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit below normal. Second, renewed winter storm threat for the central and eastern United States as cold air clashes with Gulf moisture. And third, possible late-season snow events for areas from the southern plains through the Ohio Valley and northeast. Forecasters are also noting the broader context. La Niña is collapsing rapidly, with models showing a transition to El Niño conditions by summer 2026. This transition period, from La Niña to El Niño, historically brings highly variable and volatile late winter and spring weather, with cold outbreaks competing against periods of anomalous warmth. So this is a high uncertainty but potentially high impact period for North American weather. Regardless of where you are in the country, here is what you should be doing right now. If you're in California, monitor flash flood warnings. Avoid driving through flooded roadways. Just 6 inches of water can sweep a vehicle away. If you are in a burn scar area, be ready to evacuate on short notice. If you're in the upper Midwest or Great Lakes, make sure your vehicle is equipped for icy roads. Do not let your guard down. Black ice is invisible and deadly. If you're in Canada or the northern United States, prepare for another possible cold outbreak in the final days of February. Have emergency supplies, adequate heating fuel, and a plan for power outages. The recent January storm left over 800,000 customers without power at its peak. Be ready. For everyone, sign up for wireless emergency alerts on your mobile device. Download the FEMA app. Know your National Weather Service local office and their website or social media channels. In a rapidly evolving weather situation, information is your most powerful tool. Well, that is your full SkyAlert USA briefing for Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. We will continue to monitor all of these developing systems around the clock. If you found this report valuable, please hit that like button, subscribe to SkyAlert USA so you never miss a critical weather update, and ring that notification bell. Because when severe weather strikes, you want to be the first to know. Stay safe, stay informed. We'll see you in the next update. This is SkyAlert USA. Over and out.